Hey everyone, today we're talking about whether the Klipsch RP-8000F II and RP-1200SW 2.1 system is actually worth the investment if you're serious about home audio. If you're someone who wants that concert hall experience without leaving your living room, this might be the setup for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let me say that Klipsch has been in the speaker game for decades, and they know their stuff when it comes to sound projection. The RP-8000F II towers are the main event here, featuring their new cerametallic woofers and LTS TITANIUM diaphragm tweeters. What that means for you is clearer highs and punchier lows without distortion, even at high volumes. I tested these in a medium-sized living room, and the sound filled the space without needing to crank the volume to uncomfortable levels. If you've ever had neighbors complain about your movie nights, this system might finally give you some peace. Now, the RP-1200SW subwoofer is where things get really fun. That 12-inch cerametallic woofer doesn't just rattle your windows, it delivers deep, tight bass that actually feels like it's coming from the front of the room rather than the corner. I played some bass-heavy tracks through this setup, and the sub handled the low end without muddiness or boominess. That's a big deal if you're into music with strong bass lines or action movies where you want to feel every explosion. One feature that stood out to me was the dual input terminals on the RP-8000F II. This isn't something you see on every tower speaker, but it's a game changer if you're into bi-wiring or bi-amping. Essentially, you can run separate cables to the tweeter and woofer sections, which can improve clarity and reduce interference. If you're the kind of person who tweaks every little detail of your audio setup, this feature alone might justify the cost. Another thing worth mentioning is the build quality. These speakers are heavy, each tower weighs about 65 pounds, so they're not going anywhere once you set them up. The cabinet is made from MDF with a real wood veneer finish, which gives them a premium look that fits well in most home decor. The subwoofer is also solidly built, with a front firing port that helps with placement flexibility. You won't find flimsy plastic here. Klipsch built these to last. I also tested the system with a turntable, and the clarity was impressive. Vinyl lovers know that warm, analog sound can sometimes get lost in translation when paired with modern speakers, but the RP-8000F II handled it beautifully. The highs were smooth without being harsh, and the mids had enough presence to make vocals feel intimate. If you're building a dedicated listening room or just want to enjoy your record collection properly, this setup delivers. Now, let's talk about placement. These speakers aren't small, so you'll need some space for them. I'd recommend at least a few feet away from walls to get the best soundstage. The subwoofer can go in a corner if you want maximum bass, but it's flexible enough to blend into most rooms. Just keep in mind that if you're in a tiny apartment, these might overwhelm the space. One thing to watch out for is the sensitivity. The RP-8000F II are efficient, but they still need a decent amplifier to really shine. If you're pairing them with a low-powered receiver, you might not get the full dynamic range. That said, if you're using a modern AV receiver or a dedicated amp, you'll be golden. So, who's this system for? If you're an audiophile who wants clear, dynamic sound without breaking the bank on separates, this is a fantastic choice. It's also great for home theater setups where you want that immersive, cinematic experience. The dual input terminals and solid build make it a long-term investment, and the sound quality speaks for itself. Pros-wise, the soundstage is wide and detailed, the build quality is top-notch, and the bass is punchy without being overpowering. On the downside, these speakers are big and heavy, so they're not ideal for small spaces, and you'll need a decent amp to get the best performance. If you're on the fence, I'd say this system is absolutely worth considering if you're serious about audio. The Klipsch RP-8000F II and RP-1200SW combo delivers where it counts: clear, powerful sound with the kind of build quality that'll last for years. Check the link below if you want to see the current price and read more reviews.